meaning, well, it's 9 o'clock for me, which is 4 o'clock for you. And I'm gonna wait everyone to join. And I'm just gonna say a couple of things, guys, because this is not very nice if you're coming even a minute after that, okay? So you need to be here before we actually start, because every single minute is actually planned. Now I cannot even start the lesson because some of you are late, some of you camera is not working. You need to fix that before you're joining the class. However, those of you who are here, I really appreciate that. For the rest of it, I'm just gonna wait for a minute so we can do a little bit of chat. Hi Sankai, good afternoon. It's morning for me though, it's 9 o'clock. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students only. Clarence, are you here? Last week you weren't here, your camera was all class. Okay, I'm gonna give a minute. I need to see your cameras. Mi Wong, Clarence. Nicholas, your camera is a little bit crazy because we can just see the top of your hair.
Yeah, I think my camera has some problem.
Okay. Clarence, where were you last week?
Teacher, for last week, I have some issues with my computer, and I actually did hear you, but while I unmute my mic, like it doesn't respond anything. And then after that, I troubleshooted. I give it a restart, and it's still having problems. So I don't know what happened last week, but it's working now. So I think I'm gonna be good for this week.
Okay, thank you for that. Osmond, are you here?
Yes, teacher.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Where's your camera? We don't see your camera. I'm just gonna give a minute to everyone to join in. And just guys, I need to give you some notice over here because some of you are really joining late and it's not fair, because there's some students that come here a couple of minutes before the class, they're ready to work, and some of you are just keep coming late every class. And I understand it's weekend, and I understand if that happens like once or twice, but what will happen if I join, let's say 5 minutes after 4? You're gonna run away, right? You're gonna say, oh, she's not here, so I'm gonna go. Do you agree with me, Sankai? Hi, Jim. Okay, so we got Angel, EJ, Clarence, Sankai, Miwong, Max, Mithul, Nicholas, Osmond, Ruichi. Linus is missing. Sheehan is not going to join us in this group because she transferred to Monday's class because her schedule is not accurate for this class over here, which is fine. I didn't know, but she came on Monday with the other group. So I guess now everyone will know. As far as I know, it's only Linus that it's missing so far. I think so. Okay, guys, let's talk about a little bit about the time control and time management. I've noticed, I understand it's Saturday. Some of you actually have some school activities. Oh, Wei Shan is, she's going to be late. Yeah, she texted me. So I do understand you have some school activities and maybe your life is going back to normal. But however, if you're having any issues with this schedule, if you're not really happy with this schedule, obviously you need to send us a message. You need to update us. Yes, obviously for this course, there's not much we can do. We are having just a couple of more months to complete this course. However, those of you who will continue to the next level, you need to tell us in advance if this is a good timing for you or not, right? because we need to make sure that you will be able to join us here. Yes, it's 2 hours, but those 2 hours, maybe they're not going to make a massive difference. However, they will change some of your skills. Definitely, that's for sure. I can see most of the cameras are on, but not all of them. So Mithul, Max, Miwong, I want to know what is the reason. Thank you, Mithul. Max, where's your camera? Max, are you at least here? I don't think you are.
No, I am.
You are here, okay. Where's your camera? Is your camera working?
What?
Is your camera working?
For now, no, I'm still fixing it.
Okay. All right, so from now on, guys, those of you who have your cameras off and you don't text me the reason behind it, because again, those are the same students every single class. I actually think that you're doing something over there. Maybe you're playing a game, maybe you're watching YouTube, because it happens. Yesterday, for example, I had a student. She was so defocused. I called her name so many times, and at the end, I texted her mom. And I said, well, I'm not going to say the name of the student, but I texted her mom and I said that the student is technically in class, but it's not. So she went to check up on her daughter and she said she was watching YouTube and she muted the Zoom meeting. So don't do that, because I mean, you are paying money to be here, right? So I would use it. Those of you, thank you, Sankai. Yes, you already updated me for your camera. That's fine. I understand sometimes it doesn't work. It happens with me sometimes. That's fine. But if it just keeps happening all the time, microphone is not working, camera is not working, you really cannot make any progress. So think about that for a moment. Anyway, let's get started today. I'm just checking the homework. So for your homework, you were supposed to do page 78 and 79, which were task 1, 2, and 3. Let me share my screen. We have quite a few things that we need to cover today, so we're just going to start right away. So I said, okay, 1 second, 78, task 1, yeah. Okay. How many of you have done your homework?
Me.
Okay. Guys, can you please give me a reaction, any kind of reaction? Okay. All right. 4 students. Max also said 5. How about the rest of you? Okay, before we continue, let me ask you something. I know that life is getting back for you pretty much in normal stages. Some of your parents texted me earlier this month that you started having some activities in this month, August, like school activities, and you basically need to go to school, which is fine. However, I want to know, are there basically any changes in your schedule so far? Like, is this a good time for you to have a class? Just give me a reaction if it is.
It's a good time.
Okay, for Max is a good time. For the rest of you? He just said yes, Miwong, Nicholas, Mithul. Ruichi says yes. Okay. All right. Okay, the next question I want to ask is, I've noticed most of the students, like, let's say there are some regular students that just keep doing their homework, and I really appreciate that, and I can see their progress. For example, EJ. EJ is one of the top students in all of the group, that she always has homework. She's always ready to work. I'm super happy with her. I'm not saying I'm not happy with the rest of you. However, I want to say she's very devoted, and I bet with my head that she's going to pass this exam with quite good marks. But unfortunately, I won't be able to say that for some of the students because, first of all, you're defocused during the class. Second of all, you're not doing homework. And yes, I'm giving you homework from the book because I want to save some time from the book. That's why I'm giving you homework from book. Otherwise, I could give you a link. And maybe for you, it's easier to do a link. You just sit and you do it, but it's a little bit different when it comes to opening your book. Most of the time, you don't even know where is your book. So I understand that as well. But I want to remind you guys, your exam is approaching, maybe not tomorrow, but in a couple of months. If you are refusing to do your homework, most likely you're not going to end up with a good score on your exam. Yes, you might going to pass the exam, but do you want to pass it with like the lowest points, or do you want to have the highest points? The highest points you are getting from this exam means that you're going towards the next level. So your level, as I said, is B2, basically. So you're going towards C1. But in order for you to come to level C1, you need to, which is the advanced level, you actually need to improve your vocabulary. So if you don't work, if you don't do your homework, and I'm just being honest with you, there's a lot of vocabulary, even though they're simple words. Don't focus on the words on its own. You need to focus on phrasal verbs, on collocations, on prepositions with adjectives, because they're changing the meaning. Okay, I'm not saying you don't know the verb or the noun or the adjective on its own. You just don't understand them when they're matched with something else. Anyway, those of you who had the homework, I really appreciate it for your effort. Those of you who didn't, what can I say? It's up to you. All right, let's start with the first exercise. EJ, I'll start with you. Number 1 and number 2, please.
Why don't we start jogging if you want some exercise? He suggested taking up jogging in order to get some exercise.
Sorry, sweetie, which one did you say is the correct answer?
B.
B is the correct answer, definitely. Okay, so part 1 has too many words, so definitely that's not. Part C says, basically suggest is not followed by its infinitive form. Okay, so that's definitely no. Going jogging is actually not the word given because you needed to use taking very well. EJ, how about number 2?
She won the match without difficulty. She found that it was easy to win the match. B.
Okay, you say B. She found, okay. I feel like B has a little bit too many words. So we can go with A for this one. You have C. Easily, but sweetie, over here we got easy and over here we got easily. So the given word is changed. We don't want that. Okay, so that's why the correct answer for this one will be A. She found it easy to win the match. A word limit, not necessarily a word limit. However, you can see that certain, let's say that is an extra word, which you can use it. For example, if you need to count your words and you want to put some extra words, potentially, yes. Ideally, you shouldn't have it. That's the thing. It's very similar, right? A and B, they're super similar. However, B, for some reason, it's a little bit too long and we want to keep it short and straightforward. So that's why. Okay, let's take a look the next one. The next exercise, exercise 2. I already forgot who has the homework, so I'm just gonna call everyone from now on. Let's start with Angel.
Marian prepare for the race by training every evening. Marian train every evening to get ready for the race.
To get ready, yeah. Okay, cool. To get ready. All right, Angel, the second one, please.
I found it impossible not to laugh at his effort. I found it. I'm not sure for this.
Okay, so we can start with couldn't. I couldn't help, and there is one more word.
But.
Couldn't help what?
But.
Laughing. I couldn't help laughing because laugh is the verb that we have. However, we didn't use it, but it's kind of essential to get the meaning. So I couldn't help laughing at his efforts. And Angel, the third one, please.
Cycling on the pavement.
Pavement. What is a pavement? What is a pavement? Do you know?
No.
A pavement is on the street. So there is a road that the cars can drive, but the pavement or the sidewalk, one is American, one is British. The sidewalk, basically where the pedestrians can walk, pavement.
Cycling on the pavement is prohibited. Cyclists is prohibited to use the pavement.
Okay, prohibited, but cyclist is not really. Are cyclists are. Okay. Prohibited, or we can also say are not allowed. Cyclists are not allowed. Allowed to use. Cyclists are not allowed to use the pavement. Similar meaning, right? The meaning is there, but we just slightly need to change. Banned. Not really banned. No one's gonna, because aren't allowed. Aren't allowed, yeah? Aren't allowed is also. It's good. Banned is something that is, let's say, prohibited by law. Now, most of the countries, they actually don't say that you're prohibited. If you are walking with your cycle or with your bike on the pavement, no one's going to say anything to you because you are walking. However, you're actually not allowed to ride your bicycle. But over here, it's kind of a neutral sentence, so it doesn't really say if you're riding the bicycle or you're walking with the bicycle, because there is a difference. So let's say here in the UK, cyclists basically should go in the same road with the vehicles, with the cars. However, I'm not a cyclist by all means, but once I got my brother's bike because he was saying I'm too passive, so I need to do something a little bit active. So I borrowed his bike and I asked him, where can I ride my bike? And he said to me, well, you can use the pavement. And I was shocked at first because in most of the countries on the pavement, you're not allowed to ride your bike. You can walk with it, but you cannot ride it. So I was a little bit skeptical, so I didn't do that. But then I saw a police officer, so I asked him and he said, well, technically, no one is going to say anything to you if there are like not many people on the pavement. So it's not really prohibited. It's not nice because the pavement is only for walking. But I guess it depends on from country to country, situation to situation. So banned, I wouldn't use here banned. I wouldn't use it. It does have a similar meaning with prohibited, but I would definitely not use this one. All right, good. Let's go to the next one. We are having exercise 3. So very similar. You have the word, you just need to change it. Clarence, do you have number 1, please?
We all like all our students to participate in a sports program. We are keen on our students to take part in the sports program.
To take part or taking in. Okay. Which one would be? Taking part? Or to take...
I think both are acceptable.
Okay, I would go with taking part in. Taking part in the sports program. Good. Clarence, how about number 2, please?
Buying the equipment for this sport is cheaper than hiring it. It's more expensive to buy the equipment for the sport than it it's cheaper to rent the equipment.
No, you need more. So more was good. It is more expensive was good.
It's more expensive to
I would go with higher, to hire. Oh, more expensive to hire. Because it says buying the equipment for this sport is cheaper than hiring. So when it's cheap to buy it rather than hire it, right? So it is more expensive to hire the equipment for the sport than buy it. Thank you. Sankai, do you have number 3, please?
Sorry?
Do you have number 3?
You should have phoned her to tell her the game was cancelled. You were supposed this one I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. You were supposed to give, now who? Who is the person?
Her.
Her, to give her what?
A contact.
What do we do
Yeah.
if we take the phone and we want to call someone? Call. Give me a call. Give me
I totally forgotten that word.
to give her a call. Good. So you were supposed to give her a call to tell her the game was cancelled. Okay. Sankai, can you try number 4, please?
Matteo managed to win the race, succeeded. Matteo has succeeded the race.
Okay, the meaning is there, but it's not quite accurate. So let's go with Matteo succeeded in what? What did he do with the race? Did he lose or win?
He won.
He won. So we're going to say in winning the race.
Oh, okay.
All right. Next one is for Mi Wong. 5.
I'll never get angry with the referee again, said Martin. Martin promised never to throw a temper at the referee again.
Sorry, sweetie, never to
Throw a temper?
throw a temper. How about lose? Martin promised never to lose his temper. Yeah, his temper. Oh, sorry, we're going to need with over here. With the referee again. Okay, how about number 6?
Tanya found windsurfing easy to learn. Tanya didn't have any difficulty.
Okay, didn't have. Yeah, I guess so. Also, had no difficulty. In what?
Had no difficulty learning to windsurf.
Difficulty in learning. In learning to windsurf. There's slightly more options, I would say, okay? Doesn't really matter as long as you're getting the meaning of the sentence. So look at this one. Tanya found windsurfing easy to learn. How I would like you to have the approach to this sentence is like active and passive. However, even though you're not changing the sentence into passive, right? Because we have Tanya at the front in both sentences. So slightly the grammar tense will change. If we have past simple in the main sentence, we cannot use the sentence in present, right, afterwards. However, we can change it. We can put, let's say, continuous, or potentially we can use perfect tense. All right, I'm going to give you a second so you can write down these answers before we go to the next exercise. Again, when you are redoing the exercises, like those of you who did the homework, don't erase your answers, okay? Because when you erase them, you don't really know if you've done mistakes after that. So what I would do is I would just cross them with a pencil, pen, whatever you're using, and write down the correct answer. Because this way you are learning easier. I know it sounds funny, but you are learning from the mistakes. Question 1, can I write to take part in? Take part in. We are keen on all our students to take part. Yeah, you can say it. Yeah, definitely. That was Clarence's sentence. Yeah, both of them are correct. All right, let's get going with our next exercises. I think we had one more. I need to double check clearing this. Oh yeah, we're gonna do listening. As I said, the listening part has nothing to do with these two exercises that you were supposed to do. However, you're gonna see later on that there are certain sentences that have been mentioned in the listening part. Okay, my question for you, look, see, watch. What is the difference? I think I asked you this question, but let me ask you again. What is the difference between look, see, and watch? So if I eliminate see for you, see is every time when you're using your eyes. See, I have something in my eyes. See, I cut myself, which means at the moment you need to specifically use your eyes to see something. Okay? Now, what's the difference between look and watch? So watch is, for example, you're watching TV. You cannot look at TV. Okay, you're watching TV. Every time when you need to focus when doing something like watching TV, usually you're focused, right? You're watching a movie, for example, so you need to be focused. However, when you're using look, look is a little bit, I would say more like generalized term. Can you look at my homework, please? For example. So you're asking someone for certain type of attention to do something. So look, see, and watch, they have the similar meaning, right? But we use them differently. Now, what is the difference between listen and hear? Listen is when basically, how do I say this to you? So listen is when you need to focus, basically, to listen to something. Listen to music, right? You're focusing to listen to music. Listen, there's someone outside. You can hear steps. But here, it's just the process that the ears are doing. I can hear the airplane. I'm not focusing, but I can hear it. Do you see the difference? Yes, here is something you do with your ears unintentionally, right? Unintentionally, like you can hear For example, I can hear a traffic jam outside. I can hear it. I'm not focusing, but I can hear it. However, listening is when you are required to use a little bit of attention. Listening to music, listen to me. Okay, so I'm asking you to pay an attention to listen to me. Okay, so let's see what you've done with this exercise. Let's start with the first one. Let me see where I stopped. Max, number 1, please.
Why did Hannah want to try paragliding?
No,
Is it that one or the other one? The other one, right?
This one.
Am I confused?
You couldn't have done the listening part. You need the audio, unless you have it. You're doing this one.
No. Okay. Oh, yeah. I spend my life watching people doing different sports. Well.
Okay, watching. Thank you. One more, please.
I was looking down the course planning my next shot or something when I heard these paragliders floating down.
When I heard, are you sure it's a heard?
When I saw.
Much better. When I saw. All right, cool. Thank you. Mithu, next one for you, please. 3 and 4.
In fact, I listened to my instructor.
Yeah, good. Listen.
She was generally very quiet, calm, and civilized, except when she raised her voice to shout at other flyers to keep away from me, and then you really heard her.
Heard her. Yeah, good. Heard her. Okay, very well. Let's go with the next one, Nicholas. Number 1. Tell me which one is the correct answer.
I looked at my watch and saw that it was time to leave.
Okay, one more, please.
I really enjoy watching horror films.
Watching, very well. Osmond, number 3, please.
We live near a motorway and can hear the traffic non-stop.
Perfect. Here, and one more.
I've been looking at our holiday photos.
Perfect. Thank you. Ruichi, you're next.
Did you see Buckingham Palace when you were in London?
Yeah, one more.
She knew the policeman was watching what she did.
Okay, watching. Angel, back to you. Number 7.
Ivan was in the kitchen, so he didn't listen to the telephone when it rang.
He didn't listen. Are you sure?
No. Didn't hear the telephone when it rang.
Okay, cool. And the last one?
Marissa looks so relaxed when she is listening to music on her MP3 player.
Very well. Good. Okay. So remember, if you need to focus towards something, you're gonna go with listen and watch. When you're just using your eyes as eyes, you're gonna go with see. Obviously, with the hearing sound, you don't have many options. You just have hear and listen. And when you look something, you're looking at maybe like it doesn't really require that attention, but in a way. So how I would understand this, look is something between see and watch, something between, because you're using your eyes. However, there is slightly attention that you need to use for it. Okay, good. Well done. Let's do the listening part. We haven't done it, as I said. I will give you a minute so you can just go through the questions. It will be someone about a person who is actually enjoying sports as much. They tried something new, a new experience. Paragliding course, I would definitely not do that ever in my life. I'm too scared of heights. That's not for me. However, maybe some of you, and also you're young, potentially you can try something different in your life. I don't feel I'm brave enough for that. So read the questions, please, before we hear the audio. It's actually quite simple audio, so should be very easy for you. Anyway, I just want to give you an update on the essays. Well, this week, no one didn't send it to me. Up to you, of course. EJ, your essays are amazing. Very well, I've read them. I didn't send them back. Actually, I did send them back. However, I received an email that you haven't received it. So probably I made a mistake with the, what's it called? With the email. I don't know why, because I just replied to that. Mithul, I've read yours as well. You didn't send them to me by email, but you send them to me here. I think your emails are also, I'm sorry. Your essays are also very good. I love the vocabulary. I love the structure. I didn't notice any grammar mistakes, maybe something slight. I love how you extended the sentences, so that's great also. The opening lines, let me see, I have some notes over here. Okay, so the opening lines were also very good, very neutral. That applies to all of you, Angel, EJ, and Mithul. Very good with that. Angel, also, I loved yours. I love the description. I loved how you organize it. I think, guys, you're doing an amazing job with it. I don't notice any specific grammar issues. I think you're covering quite well. Yes, here and there, there's slightly some things that you can potentially improve. But I think that's just probably you haven't read it enough. As I said, every time when you write something, make sure you're reading it twice. Trust me, twice is the perfect number. I've done that. I told you before, I'm a translator. When I translate something, I just leave it because I know once I'm going to reread it, I'm going to find all my mistakes. So give yourself some time to reread it one more time or twice. As I said, twice is the ideal number. Anything else that I've noticed? No. Mithul, be careful with not extending it too much. I know you're very descriptive. You really enjoy putting details and details and details. Now, if this happens to you or any one of you guys, what I'd like you to do is the limit. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna explain this and then we're gonna go with the listening because I'm gonna forget. I'm just getting old and forget things. When you are writing something, because your limit is 140 to 190 words, some of you keep asking me, can I go with 200? Yes, you can, but don't go overboard. In case if it happens like you have 210, I would try to cut the sentence down. So when you write it down, and now let's say you have two sentences, maybe they're like super long, try to cut each of those two sentences at least half and try to connect them. You're going to save some time, and also you're going to save your count limit as well. But my advice for you would be, yes, you're very good, especially Mithul. Mithul loves to talk so much. The description, the description is super great. That's okay, Angel. No worries. I'm happy you did two of them. I'm honestly so happy. The rest of them, they did nothing. So I'm very happy with you two girls and Mithul as well. So when you are extending something or when you're writing a lot of details, what I would like you to do is check the structure of the words. Like if you're having a lot of adjectives, remove some of them. Yes, I love adjectives, okay? They should be included in the writing part. Doesn't matter which type of writing you're having. They should be included. Adverbs and adjectives, I'm super happy with them. Make sure you're including phrasal verbs. Actually, what I'm planning to do is, I already started doing it, but I haven't finished it. Hopefully, if I finish it by Monday to give it to the other group, I will give this to you on Saturday as well. I'm preparing like a very short file where you're gonna have to tick what kind of words and what did you cover in your writing. For example, do you have phrasal verbs? Do you have collocations? And I'm gonna give you some examples. I'm gonna try to keep it as neutral as possible so you can include them, okay? I think that should help quite a lot. However, don't extend it too long, okay? no one is going to sit and count every single word. That's not going to happen. But as I said, once we see it, because we've done this, like all the teachers pretty much and the examiners, they know roughly how many words you have. Now, that doesn't mean that you should go with 140. 140 means that, yeah, that's just about right. However, your marks won't go high, which means you just actually put some effort just to get rid of the task. Ideally, from 140 to 190, I would go 170 to 180 words. That will be perfect. That will be ideal. Okay? Because if you're using too many adjectives, too many adverbs, it means that you are very descriptive. And I love that because not everyone can do that. But it could also mean that you cannot control your limits. Like you don't know what is essential and what is non-essential. So that's the goal over here. Apart from it, well done. Well done. You did quite a good job. I'm going to try to resend it to you again, but this week was so crazy for me. I had so many classes, so many exams. I really didn't have time to forward them to you, but I will. I promise you I will. I know I said last week, I promised, but I forgot. As I said, I tried with EJ. Something happened. Malware delivery. I don't know why. And I just replied to the email. But probably we've been having a little bit of issues with the connectivity this week, especially with Google. Don't know why. I'm not even using Google browser anymore as much as I used to. Enough for me talking. Let's do the listening part. Let me just double check. Should be disk 2. Okay, that's unit 7. All right, let me play it for you. You're going to hear it twice. Make sure, guys, you're having the keywords. Keywords are essential. Once you decide what is the keyword in the question, for example, the first one, why did Hannah want to try paragliding? Okay, so now, why? Why is the essential and paragliding? Or maybe try paragliding. Those will be keywords. And now look at this. She had seen other people doing it. Maybe you can underline this. Wanted to write an article. So write an article could be a keyword. Bored. So now once I'm going to hear it or listen, even better, you're going to figure out which one is the correct answer. So again, once you have the keywords, before you listen to the task, I promise you 99% of the... Pardon? What was that?
I was talking to my mother.
Okay. Then turn off your microphone, please. All right, let's play it. Let's see what you're going to do. Listening part 4.
Unit 7. Listening part 4. Exercise 3.
So, Hannah, what made you want to go on a paragliding course? It sounds like an extremely risky thing to want to do, even for a journalist like yourself.
Well, I thought it was a bit risky too. I mean, as a sports journalist, I spend my life watching people do different sports, and I've done a fair number of them myself. It's one of the qualifications for the job, I suppose. Anyway, a couple of years ago, I was actually in Switzerland playing golf with friends. I was researching for an article on golf courses, and you know, golf isn't the most exciting of sports. Anyway, I was looking down the course, planning my next shot or something, when I saw these paragliders floating down from the heights. I thought to myself, that looks like fun. Perhaps I should have a go at it myself.
So you went on a course in France, I believe.
That's right. I'd actually tried to go on a paragliding course in England a few years ago. I'd even paid the course fee, about £500. But every time I went down to do the course, it was either too windy or it was raining. So in the end, I got fed up and asked for my money back. Anyway, looking on the internet, I found this rather wonderful place called Dunville on the coast in southwest France. It's actually the highest sand dune in Europe, and they run courses there. The price was a bit higher with the travel, but it was a really nice place, and since sunshine was almost guaranteed, I went for it.
Great. And can you tell me, are there any advantages to jumping off a sand dune? I imagine it's rather less dangerous than jumping off a mountain, isn't it?
Well, it isn't so high, only about 150 metres, in fact. But wherever you fall, it's going to hurt. So from that point of view, it doesn't necessarily make a lot of difference. But the good thing is that the beach guarantees you a relatively soft landing. Too soft if you go off the beach and into the water, because then you'll need rescuing, although there's usually a steady breeze to keep you from going into the sea.
And what's the main difficulty for a beginner? I imagine it's taking off and landing.
The major problem for a complete beginner like myself is actually learning how to hold your paraglider up in the air, so that both sides open properly. They only allow you to run off the edge and fly when you've mastered that technique, so I didn't get to fly till after lunch on my first day. Getting your paraglider open is quite tricky to start with. It makes you feel a bit silly when you see other people happily flying around below you or above you all morning.
And when you actually start flying, how does your teacher tell you what to do? Does he fly along beside you?
No, it sounds a nice idea, and I'd have felt a lot safer if I'd had someone beside me. In fact, I listened to my instructor Chantal through an earphone. She stayed down below and spoke into a small microphone device to tell me what to do. It was generally very quiet, calm and civilised, except when she raised her voice to shout at other flyers to keep away from me, and then you really heard her.
And is landing a problem?
Surprisingly not. I was expecting something rather violent. I've come off a horse in my time, and that's a lot rougher, I can tell you. This was a relatively soft landing. The sand cushions you a bit, so hardly more of a bump than hopping off a park bench. And you're wearing a helmet, of course, rather like a biker's, so the danger's minimal.
But is it really as safe as you make out?
They say it is. I mean, there are a couple of serious accidents every year, but the people I know who do it are very safety conscious. Most sports, including slow earthbound ones like golf, have some element of risk. I've known a few people get hit by golf balls, some of my own even. Most of all, though, I was taken by the silence. I mean, you're not disturbing anybody in your rather strange, eccentric quest for thrills and new sensations. That, for me, is the best thing, and something I've rarely come across before.
Hannah, thank you.
A pleasure.
Now we're going to hear it one more time. Make sure you are having the correct answers. Remember, the listening will be twice on your examination, so that's why we're going to do it again.
Unit 7. Listening Part 4. Exercise 3.
So, Hannah, what made you want to go on a paragliding course? It sounds like an extremely risky thing to want to do, even for a journalist like yourself.
Well, I thought it was a bit risky too. I mean, as a sports journalist, I spend my life watching people do different sports, and I've done a fair number of them myself. It's one of the qualifications for the job, I suppose. Anyway, a couple of years ago, I was actually in Switzerland playing golf with friends. I was researching for an article on golf courses, and golf isn't the most exciting of sports. Anyway, I was looking down the course, planning my next shot or something, when I saw these paragliders floating down from the heights. I thought to myself, that looks like fun. Perhaps I should have a go at it myself.
So you went on a course in France, I believe.
That's right. I'd actually tried to go on a paragliding course in England a few years ago. I'd even paid the course fee, about £500. But every time I went down to do the course, it was either too windy or it was raining. So in the end, I got fed up and asked for my money back. Anyway, looking on the internet, I found this rather wonderful place called Dunville on the coast in southwest France. It's actually the highest sand dune in Europe, and they run courses there. The price was a bit higher with the travel, but it was a really nice place, and since sunshine was almost guaranteed, I went for it.
Great. And can you tell me, are there any advantages to jumping off a sand dune? I imagine it's rather less dangerous than jumping off a mountain, isn't it?
Well, it isn't so high, only about 150 metres, in fact. But wherever you fall, it's going to hurt, so from that point of view, it doesn't necessarily make a lot of difference. But the good thing is that the beach guarantees you a relatively soft landing. Too soft if you go off the beach and into the water, because then you'll need rescuing, although there's usually a steady breeze to keep you from going into the sea.
And what's the main difficulty for a beginner? I imagine it's taking off and landing.
The major problem for a complete beginner like myself is actually learning how to hold your paraglider up in the air, so that both sides open properly. They only allow you to run off the edge and fly when you've mastered that technique, so I didn't get to fly till after lunch on my first day. Getting your paraglider open is quite tricky to start with. It makes you feel a bit silly when you see other people happily flying around below you or above you all morning.
And when you actually start flying, how does your teacher tell you what to do? Does he fly along beside you?
No, it sounds a nice idea, and I'd have felt a lot safer if I'd had someone beside me. In fact, I listened to my instructor Chantal through an earphone. She stayed down below and spoke into a small microphone device to tell me what to do. It was generally very quiet, calm and civilised, except when she raised her voice to shout at other flies to keep away from me, and then you really heard her.
And is landing a problem?
Surprisingly not. I was expecting something rather violent. I've come off a horse in my time, and that's a lot rougher, I can tell you. This was a relatively soft landing. The sand cushions you a bit, so hardly more of a bump than hopping off a park bench. And you're wearing a helmet, of course, rather like a biker's, so the danger's minimal.
But is it really as safe as you make out?
They say it is. I mean, there are a couple of serious accidents every year, but the people I know who do it are very safety conscious. Most sports, including slow earthbound ones like golf, have some element of risk. I've known a few people get hit by golf balls, some of my own even. Most of all, though, I was taken by the silence. I mean, you're not disturbing anybody in your rather strange, eccentric quest for thrills and new sensations. That, for me, is the best thing, and something I've rarely come across before.
Hannah, thank you.
A pleasure.
The audio without my camera. Now, let's take a look at the answers. Let's start with the first question. I think you can see all of them. Okay, so we stopped with Angel. We're gonna. Oh, wait, Shen, I didn't see you coming. Wei Shen, did you at least hear the, did you listen to the audio?
No, I guess.
No. Okay, that's fine, no worries. EJ, I'll start with you. Number 1, please.
Why did Hannah want to try paragliding? She had seen other people doing it.
I'm sorry, sweetie, your audio was a little bit strange. Can you say it again? There was like an echo.
Teacher, can you hear me?
We can hear you, but it's with an echo, so I couldn't understand what was the correct answer.
I typed in the chat.
Just text me the answer, yeah. You say B. She wanted to write an article about it. Okay. Anyone else think something else? Something different?
Teacher. Teacher, I have to leave the meeting.
Where are you going?
Well, it's not really going somewhere. It's more like climbing.
Okay, so you're outside.
Yes, due to the special, unforeseen, definitely legal situation or circumstance. It's very loud here.
Okay, all right, no problem, Max. Enjoy your time.
I'm sorry, bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, EJ, then you say A. I think A is the correct answer. Let's see why. She had seen other people doing it. So listen to the sentence. I saw these paragliders floating down from the heights. I thought to myself, that looks like fun. Perhaps I should have it a go at myself. So the correct answer will be A. All right, let's go with the next one. Clarence, how about number 2?
Why did Hannah choose to do a paragliding course in France? C, the weather was better.
Good. So the sentence was, it was either, so she tried to do it in England, but she says it was either too windy or it was raining. And then she says, while in France, since sunshine was almost guaranteed, I went for it. Very well, thank you. Sankai, number 3, please.
Hannah says the advantage of learning to paraglide from sand dune is that you can land comfortably on the sand.
Very well, that is the correct answer. Let's just see what she said. But the good thing is that the beach guarantees you a relatively soft landing. Very well, Mi Wong, number 4. Mi Wong, can you hear me? You don't have number 4. Okay, no problem. That's okay. Mithul, do you have number 4?
I put A.
You put A, okay. A is the correct answer. Let me just give you the answer. I'm just looking in the text. Okay, learning how to hold your paraglider up in the air. They only allow you to run off the edge and fly when you've mastered that technique. So I didn't get to fly till after lunch on my first day. Thank you, Nicholas. Number 5, please.
When she started flying, her instructor talked to her over the radio. B.
Okay, thank you. Talk to her over the radio. And that is the correct answer. Let me just find the text. Okay. I listened to my instructor, Chantel, through an earphone. She stayed down below and spoke into a small microphone device to tell me what to do. Very well. Ruichi, number 6, please.
When you land after paragliding, it feels like jumping from a seat. A.
Jumping from a seat. Very well. A is the correct answer. The sand cushions. Sorry, this was a relatively soft landing. The sand cushions you a bit, so hardly more of a bump than hopping off a park bench. Excellent. Angel, back to you. Number 7.
What for Hannah is the best reason to go paragliding? C is quiet.
It's quiet. It is the correct answer. Let me just see, where does she say that? Most of all, though, I was taken by the silence. That for me is the best thing and something I've rarely come across before. All right, now I'm looking at the participant list. I want to see how many of you had everything correct. Give me reaction. Mithul, well done. Okay, how many of you had 6 correct? Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, how many of you had 5 correct? Clarence? Okay. Okay, Wei Shen, she came a little bit late today, so that's fine. We're not gonna ask her. All right, good. So guys, as I said, once you have the keywords from each line, you just need to focus on those words. I promise you, most likely you're not gonna make a mistake. Yes, unless they mention. So the catch here with your level specifically, let's say with KET, we're looking for the same words. If they say jump in the text, we're gonna have jump in the option over here. Sorry, in the audio. With KET, that's KET. With PET, there's slight changes. However, with FCE, we're searching for synonyms. So sometimes you might gonna see, okay, well, all of them, they fit in perfectly. So you need to focus on maybe there is a negative form, maybe there is a preposition. Small details like that will lead you to the correct answer. All right, we've been here for 1 hour. I'm gonna give you a break. After that, we're gonna do. Okay, hold on. Did we do the article? I'm not sure now. Now I'm confused. I think we did it, yeah? Okay, so this was This was the essay. Okay, guys, I need you to remind me. Now I get confused. Did I do it with you? I don't have in my notes. Doesn't seem that we've done it, but I need to ask you. Have we done the article writing? You don't know either. We haven't, yeah. According to my notes, we haven't, but I don't know because, yeah, last week I actually gave you to do the writing essay during the class because no one pretty much didn't have written anything. Okay, that's fine. Let me give you a short break, 5 to 7 minutes, get some water, do whatever you need to do, come back and we will continue. We're gonna have some speaking and writing. I'm not sure what to prioritize at this moment. Probably will be writing because it's a better option before we continue to the next unit. All right, see you in a couple of minutes. cameras? Okay, so I think we're gonna jump in right to the writing part because it's kind of important. Yes, speaking is very important as well. However, I want us to cover as much as we can from the writing so we can get rid of its away. So when writing an article, we said previously, it is more like sharing your personal opinion towards something rather than putting up details or specific research. You don't have to do that. You can, but you don't really have to, because when it comes to an article, it's basically based on your opinion. Like the essay is also based on your personal opinion, so no mistake there. Now we're going to read an article on page 83, which is the following one, about this person, Nacho Palas. Nacho is a very Spanish name, so I don't know if he's Spanish or not. First, we're going to read it, and there are a couple of things that I want you to focus in it. First thing, so once you see this article, you can see that it has been divided into 3 paragraphs. 1, 2, 3. Now, the second thing, you can see how it starts. Although. Is this perfect that you can say it? I would say no. I wouldn't start a sentence with I, for example. I love playing rugby. I personally wouldn't use that. I would start with something a little bit more neutral, something more general. I can say, for example, playing sports is very important. Or let's say, it doesn't matter what the topic is, right? Because let's say this topic is about sport, especially rugby. We can go with something neutral because it's going to attract my attention. Doesn't mean that is the only thing, the only approach you need to have it, not necessarily. It's very important for you to use, as I said, collocations, phrasal verbs, good prepositions, correct prepositions, which is even more important. Now, let's take a moment and read the text first. I will ask Ruichi to read number 1 for us, please.
I love playing rugby. I started playing the game at school when I was just 9 years old. It was compulsory to do a sport 3 afternoons a week, and in winter the boys had to play rugby. I immediately found I enjoyed it, despite not being as big as other boys my age. However, I was quite athletic, so I could often run past my opponents and score points by being more agile than them.
Okay, cool. Let's read the second one. Let's ask Wei Shan, the second paragraph.
Although it's quite a rough game with complicated rules, it keeps you fit because you have to run for 19 minutes. So you also have to train several times a week. For people who are competitive and enjoy playing in a team, it's great fun. You can play it at any level, but if you want to win a trophy, you will need someone to coach you so that you learn the best tactics and learn to work effectively together.
Okay, thank you. And Sankai, the third one.
Although you can sometimes get hurt, I would recommend the game to anyone who enjoys ball games, running and keeping fit. However, if you decide you don't want to actually play, it's a great sport for spectators as well.
Okay, cool. Now, I want to ask you, in which paragraph does Nacho describes a sporting activity? Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, or paragraph 3? Where does he describe a sporting activity?
Is it still my turn?
No.
This
This is a question for
okay.
everyone. Mithu, what do you think?
What did you say, teacher? Sorry.
In which paragraph he describes a sporting activity? 1, 2, or 3?
A sporty activity?
Yep.
What does sporty even mean?
Sporting, sweetie, sporting activity. Activity with sport.
What? Oh, swatting. What's swatting mean? Like
Are you
they're
serious
into
now?
sport? Yes, I am serious. I never heard of this word in my life.
Sporting, you've never heard of this word.
No. I know what sports mean, but why is there ing at the back?
Okay. Sporting activity is activity where you're using sport.
Oh wait. How have I not heard of that? How have I not heard of that? Wait. One?
You sure that it's one?
No, two. It's too late because they put competitively and
It's paragraph 2. Yes, it's paragraph 2 because he's explaining the sporting activity. He describes what kind of sport that is. Okay, thank you. Clarence, how about the second one? How he started. In which paragraph does he describe this? Paragraph 1 or paragraph 3?
Paragraph 3.
Are you sure?
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Guys, do you see my screen? What am I pointing you over here? How he started. Which paragraph?
The first one.
First one. Okay, and why he would recommend it is paragraph 3. You kind of defocused now. Okay, never mind. It happens, but not too often though, I hope. Let's take a look at exercise 5. So we need to use although, however, despite. Ooh, that's going to be tricky. That's going to be tricky. Let's see how you're going to do it, and then we're going to explain when and how do we use although, however, despite. Exercise 5, please. I'll give you like 2-3 minutes. You ready? Yes, all right, let's take a look. Let's start with the first one. Luigi, I'll start with you. Number 1.
Although the swimming pool is quite far from where I live, I try to go there 3 times a week.
Okay, although, correct one. Nicholas, number 2. Nicholas. Mithul,
Yes.
number 2,
right?
please.
Despite being given tickets to the football match, we decided to watch it on TV.
Thank you. Sankai, 3.
Um,
Look at my rules over there. So I put although and despite. However, I didn't put it because it should be very easy to understand when to use however.
Although I'd love to be a professional footballer, I don't think I'm talented.
Okay. Although, thank you. Number 4, Clarence.
Teacher, I can't see the question ranking.
He was.
He was easy to talk to, although being a famous tennis star. Despite.
Despite. Okay. Despite, very well. Wei Shen, number 5.
10% of British teenager dreams of becoming a sports star. However, very few will achieve their ambition.
Good. Angel?
I won the game, although I did never play badminton before.
Number 6. Yep. Okay. Although, good. Ejem, 7.
Despite feeling very tired, she managed to finish the race.
Okay, good. And number 8, Mi Wong?
I didn't enjoy the match, however, our opponents played very well.
Very well, good job. However, guys, please write down these rules that I put it over here. You can write them down in the book, in your notebook, whatever. This is important, okay? Because this is going to help you to choose the correct answer. So I'll give you a moment so you can. All right, let's get going to our next exercise. I'm going to clear this up. All right, so now you're having all the words. However, you need to use the correct one in the correct gap. I'll give you an example. Although Valerie enjoys competitive sports, he prefers taking exercise on his own. Actually, we can do this right away. I don't have to give you any time. I'm just gonna match them like this. Number 2, Angel.
Ice hockey is a rough game.
Good.
where players often get it.
Thank you. EJ, 3.
If I was more athletic, I might be able
Athletic,
to.
sweetie. Athletic.
Sorry,
Athletic.
athletic. I might be able to win a few more races.
Thank you. Thank you. Wei Shan, number 4.
Our trophy for the next match are last year champions.
We cannot say our trophy. How do we call the people that you play for one team and they play for another team? How do we call them?
Spectators.
Opponents.
Okay.
Opponents. Okay, good. Sankai, 5. Sankai, sleeping.
Sorry, my bad. We need someone to coach our team so that they learn to play better.
Excellent. Thank you. Mithul, next one.
Few spectators watch adventure sports because they take place in remote areas.
Awesome. And Ruichi, last one for you. You can just read it.
We're rated as one of the top teams despite never having won a single trophy.
Perfect. Very well. Okay, excellent. Okay, so how do we do a plan for writing? Well, first of all, you need to, how do we start writing? Sorry, first of all, you need to make a plan. I told you that your examination will take place 80 minutes, which means 40 minutes per task. Now, ideally, you should spend 5 minutes at the beginning just to plan, just to give some ideas. Those of you who did PT last year, you know that a couple of times I mentioned to you to think about good verbs, good adjectives, something that will help you to bring your story forward. Story, email, essay, depends what you want to write. I think that should I think that should help you here as well. Sorry, my speaking skills today are horrible. I think because it's Saturday. I don't know. So as I said, try not to extend it over 190, yeah, maybe up to 200, but that's it. Put the limit over there. In case if you have longer written task, make sure you at least remove one sentence, but try that sentence to not be that relevant. Those are probably the most important things that you can do when it comes to writing. Now, your task. Well, you're going to have to do the following task, which is on page... Okay, give me a second. What page is it? 82. Okay, so this is your thing that you need to do. An article. The editors of the college magazine would like contributions to the magazine on the following subject. A great way to keep fit. Describe a sporting activity or form of exercise you enjoy. How you started and why you would recommend it to other people. The writer of the best article will receive 10 tickets to the local cinema. I'm going to give you a Padlet again. Maybe you don't like it, unfortunately. However, I want to see how you're doing spelling. I know when it's computer-based, most of the time the computer will give you suggestions how to correct it. But I also want to see the grammar that you're using. So very quickly, I'm going to create a Padlet for you. I just need to archive some of them. But in the meanwhile, you just think about what you want to say, okay? So we're having FCE article. I don't think I can copy the text. Let me try. I don't think it's going to allow me to copy the text, but let me give it a go. Maybe it will. Definitely won't. Okay. So for your reference page, my memory is so poor. 82. Okay. Page 82. So article 140 to 190. All right, I'm gonna send you the link. Start posting. Okay, let's copy, send you the link. Okay, so by the end of the class, you should have like 32 minutes. I would say should be fine, but in case if you need to prolong it a little bit, make sure you stay 5 minutes after the class or just submit this. And I will give you the next homework, which will be from the book. Just 1 second. You can start writing, guys. I just want to check something. Okay, so will be unit 7 for your homework. I will send you a message in WhatsApp. I just need to make my notes first. Okay, so next week we are starting unit 8, homework page 94, unit 7, revision. All right. So latest homework. Okay, so you can start writing your article. You're talking about a sport that you like, that you tried to do. And that's it. Here it is. What page is this? Why I keep forgetting the page? 82. So this is your task. A great way to keep fit. This is your task. A great way.
Teacher, what can I do if I wrote over 190 words?
How many more do you have? How much more?
I have 255 words.
Oh, that's too long. You have to cut it down.
Okay.
Too long.
I have so much ideas writing on this, so
So guys, the reason why you're limited means that you can distinguish what it's important to put and what it's not important. That's the reason. So if you're having 190 words, because some students could be, or some people could be very descriptive and, they can talk until tomorrow, but we don't want that. We need certain type of words in a certain limit. has submitted his. Let me see. EJ as well. Okay. Okay, so roughly the words should be pretty much similar. All right. So if you can finish it now in the next 2-3 minutes, that's fine. In case if you need a little bit longer because you started at 10:26, so that's like 34 minutes. Roughly, you need to extend it up until, what's the time for you? It's 6 o'clock. So up until 6 o'clock and 6 minutes. So that should be the limited time, I would say, for about 40 minutes. Anyway, well done today. We completed Unit 8. Next week, we will continue with we completed Unit 7. Next week, we will continue with Unit 8. Usually, as I said, usually it goes 1 unit per month. However, FCE is a little bit longer, so it takes a little bit longer. That's fine. We have the time. Obviously, we're going to try to cover as much as we can from this book so you can prepare yourself for your exam. Now, those of you who are going to submit it, well, each one of you should do that, right? However, in case something happens, I would like you to please redo the article because it's a writing task that you need to practice. I send a message in WhatsApp to tell you, let me double check. Yes, latest homework, page 94, Unit 7 revision, so we can get that out of the way. As I said, next week we will continue with Unit 8, and that's pretty much it. We will read these ones next week. I'm going to choose 1 to 2, which are the exceptionals or the good ones, and you can focus on maybe copy something from them, like phrases and stuff like that. Do you have any questions maybe? You want to ask something? No? All right, perfect. In that case, thank you so much for coming to class. In case if you're having some issues with this schedule, you need to tell us in advance, okay? So maybe we can transfer you to the other group, or maybe next year we can just change the time. Anyway, thank you so much for coming to class today. I will see you in 7 days. Bye.
Teacher, what if I have like 209 words?
You submitted, so I will see. You can
Oh,
submit
okay.
it. All right, perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye
teacher.
bye, teacher.